Turntable setup is not an art. Definitely not. You might see that claim, you might read that claim, you might hear that claim in the audio press or on a forum, but it most decidedly is not an art. I can see why some people would think it's an art, principally because the approach that most people take to setting up a turntable, cartridge, a tone arm, is one of hunting and pecking for audible improvements. But we're dealing with a mechanical transcription instrument here. That is, an instrument that's designed to read vibrations that are absolutely infinitesimally small, down in the nanometer region. And we know what shape tool was used to cut the groove in the first place, and we know what the four angles, or at least in two of them, we know the range. Those four angles were that the cutter head was aligned to at the time of lacquer cutting. So, following any mechanical transcription process, we would do best to replicate those same angles and use a similar shape playback stylus to trace that groove. But the process of setting up a turntable is understandably often confused as an art because, well, people are using their ears to hunt and peck for these improvements they can get by making one change or another. That very process of using your ears doesn't acknowledge that there are targets that we must aim for in order to optimize playback quality. And we know what those targets are. In the case of the cartridge and tone arm setup, there are 7 of them. I did a whole series on these 7 alignment targets that I encourage you to take a look at. In those videos, I talk about how we know what the targets are and, well, how to get at them with your setup. But if you're going about the process of setting up your turntable and just using your ears, well, and you make a particular change and it sounds like a net improvement, you could be forgiven to think that, well, it's all mysterious art and I'm just chasing for the improvements that I can hear. And I have no doubt that you can make a turntable sound better just by using your ear, but I'm not interested in helping people improve their sound. That's not what we do at WAM Engineering. I'm not interested in helping you improve your sound. I'm interested in optimizing it, which is to say and claim that there are specific targets to aim at. Again, those 7 targets. Now, there are more considerations than just the 7 when it comes to turntable optimization. Well, one thing that's not in those 7 targets is the proper isolation of the turntable itself from mechanical energy that's in the environment, in your rack, in your floor, even acoustic. So there are other elements, and we'll be talking about many more of these in this soundbite series here. But suffice it to say for now that the process of setting up a turntable, it is one that, if you are going to do it right, pays attention to the laws of physics and geometry in the effort. And that's what we're here to help you do. It's my hypothesis that the people who claim that turntable setup is an art don't actually understand what they're doing entirely. When they make a particular change to, let's say, the tone arm, and they hear a certain performance change, I don't think most of them know why it's happening. Well, there's always a why. Getting behind the answer of that why may be difficult. It is often difficult, but it's doable. The other reason that many people would be forgiven to think that turntable setup is an art is because there are many variables that affect the sound, that affect the performance. And, well, a lot of those variables are not well studied. They're not even well known by the general public, the general vinyl public. So there's much more for us to research in this arena, and we'll be doing that at WAM Engineering. That's it. Until next week on our next soundbite video. See ya.